me, hey man, why would you ever put BGH and Paladin pre-GVG? And I was always thinking to myself, well, it's a simpler way to remove things than using Humility Kodo. And it seemed to be a card that a lot of people didn't like in Pally, but since GVG it's been basically replacing those, you know, two pieces combos that used to remove big creatures.
So Naria will be picking the Priest in the next match. We're gonna see how that goes.
I think it should go pretty well, hopefully. It seems to me like it's a pretty good matchup for him. So we do not see the mulligan, and the coin shielded mini-bot here from Firebat right away, starting with high pressure. But that Northshire Cleric is going to be a pretty good card.
Yeah, that is gonna be. It's gonna kill off the shield. It's gonna draw a card. I'd say pretty good overall.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, does Firebat even bother attacking into it? You just go face, right? There's no point attacking into it.
Yeah, attacking into it just basically lets your opponent. Your opponent's gonna attack into it anyway, so might as well just go for face, deal an extra 2 damage.
And the Alkanai Circle.
2 Shadow Word Death. That's exactly what Naria doesn't want in this matchup.
It's not the worst, but not in this specific matchup. The only targets you've got, well, surprisingly enough, Firebat has the exact 2 targets that you're going to be using that on, so...
Naria's hand actually pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
I just want to say that the key card in this matchup, I would say, is probably Thoughtsteal.
Thoughtsteal can get high-value cards.
So many high-value cards, like Aldor Peacekeeper or Humility off of Thoughtsteal. It's going to be so amazing, because you can combine it with the Cabal to basically steal anything in the Paladin has. There's also the possibility of stealing Tyrion, of stealing True Silver Champions, stealing Lay on Hands, so you can do something like Alkanai Soul Priest plus Lay on Hands, deal 8 damage plus draw 3 cards. I'd say it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's one of those. It's one of those odd combos. It's kind of like the Tree of Life combo that you sometimes find on ladder for the fun of it, or Healing Touch. Back in the days, you know, people could just Thoughtsteal Healing Touch and then Alkanai Soul Priest you. Alright, so Naria's gonna play his second Alkanai Soul Priest right off the bat and put a little bit of damage into Firebat's face. I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna work out when you consider the board that Firebat's got. I mean, the hand that Firebat's got. Do you think it's worth it to just throw the second Alkanai there as a body?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like in this matchup, usually you want to save the Alkanai to clear Quartermasters and Muster for battles, but I'm not sensing that Firebat runs either of those cards in this deck right now.
Yeah, we haven't seen them, and maybe Naria understood that this was a bit more of a control-heavy Paladin with kind of older, you know, components to it, reminiscent of the older Paladin, pre-GVG Paladin decks, and maybe that's what he's, you know, counting on.
In fact, I feel like this is exactly pre-GVG Paladin with 2 mini shielded mini-bots added into it, to be honest.
That's exactly what it feels like. Yeah. The value here not going to be too bad off that Alkanai after all.
Yeah, not too bad, but usually a bit more than what you expect off of Alkanai, especially in this matchup.
Yeah, it did eat up an Aldor Peacekeeper, so... Alright, Stampeding Kodo will come out and munch on that Alkanai Soul Priest's face, so no more Soul Priest for you. And back to the 1-1 spam. This reminds me of the Control Warrior Nightmare, where you get overrun by 1-1s that you just cannot handle. They whittle down at your health for the entire game, and then you just die.
Yeah, again, Naria still doesn't have those Thoughtsteals, and without those Thoughtsteals, I feel like the Priest deck is just generally slightly weaker than the Paladin deck.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny to say that the Priestess win condition is to go fetch cards from the other player's deck. Oh, man. That Shrinkmeister.
Shrinkmeister's a good card.
That's a good card if I've ever seen one, but then again, what is it going to steal right now?
I think Tyrion right here is pretty good. Your opponent can't mind control the next turn.
But he might just wait to mind control it afterwards.
Oh, I guess Kel'Thuzad is going to be pretty good too.
Yeah. Wow, that is actually a pretty high value play. You can just wipe the entire board, get your little 1-1s back, and kill that Northshire Cleric.
It's alright, I guess, but Naria has a good answer for it. Shadow Word Death, of course.
Yeah, I think this is, like you mentioned earlier, that Shadow Word Death was not going to give you any value, and that was true up until the point where we're at right now. If a Wild Pyromancer is top deck, it's going to be crazy here for Naria. Oh! Wow.
Well,
oh! And this game might have just been stabilized from Naria's perspective. Very nice card to have for him right now. I think if not one of the best. And there's also Mind Control coming right up for Tyrion or, you know, Sylvanas Windrunner. This is really good.
Yeah, even though it didn't look that great from the beginning, it's turning out pretty well for Nyria right now. He has in his remaining hand, he has a lot of these Cabal Shadow Priest, these high value cards like Cabal Shadow Priest, like the Shadow Word Death and Mind Control, and he also has a Shrinkmeister to combo with the Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah, so he can reach up for up to 4 attack, which means if a Sludge Belcher were played, he would have an answer to it. Wow, this is excessively funny. Very slow play from both players, but it's kind of necessary at this point. Oh, double Wild Power Mancer.
So, is Tyrion going to be played? We're going to see immediate Mind Control then afterwards.
You know what I like about this, though, is that Firebat can get Tyrion back through Sylvanas and Equality Wild Pyro, if the shield doesn't get pinged off.
Yeah, it's a lot of resources, though.
Yeah, it really is, but...
I think this is going to be the quickest Mind Control ever.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think it gets any faster than this. Alright, so do you think this is a Sylvanas Equality Wild Power turn, or is that just... I mean, you want to get that weapon back and that Tyrion back. You can't let him have it. It's too dangerous.
Okay, I guess he's going to do it.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't get buffed.
Yeah, you're guaranteed to steal the Tyrion, even though it's going to remain as like a 6-1. Still pretty good.
You really do need to get that weapon.
Holy Nova.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure I like any of the plays that Neria has access to here. He's gonna have to drag on the game a little longer than he might feel comfortable with, but
that doesn't feel any good. I mean,
yeah.
He could have played Vol'jin and made your Vol'jin a 6-1.
Yay! Yay for value. Yay for incredible plays. And now that Guardian of Kings went to top off Firebat's health total.
Look at this deck. It runs 2 Guardian of Kings, 1 layout hands, and at least 1 anti-kill bot.
Anti-kill bot. That's a lot of healing.
And
look at that. Look at this right now. Neria last turn using his Holy Nova means that his Vol'jin is not going to give him the value that he might want out of it. Because I feel like keeping the Nova for Vol'jin as a combo might be very good.
I think Neria's thought process there was he kind of probably deduced that his opponent didn't have the Quartermaster Muster for Battle combo.
Okay,
so he can kind of use the Vol'jin right there at that moment, at least.
Yeah, and I guess he might have kept it for Deathlord, knowing that his opponent is running 1. At least 1, so...
Alright. These 2 Cabals have just been sitting in Neria's hand the entire game.
He's waiting for that Deathlord to come out. And there's a Piloted Sky Golem in Firebat's deck. I think he's got 1 Piloted Sky Golem, 1 Karen Bloodhoof. Mixing both together.
Sounds about right. Yeah, the funny thing is, like, Neria can't deal with this Piloted Sky Golem either unless he Vol'jins for not that much value. Because he's used both Shadow Word Deaths, and he's used the Mind Control. So after you use both of those cards, what else do you have as a Priest player to get rid of these high value minions?
Now you have to wait. You have to wait it out. But you've seen most of. I think you've seen all the threats coming from Firebat. And when I say all the threats, I mean the high value threats that we usually think of when you think of threats. Sylvanas, Tyrion, Kel'Thuzad. Those have been played. So all he knows is that it's going to be a grinding game, coming down to card for card plays, and that might end up being very impactful. So depending on how he ends up playing it. So do you Vol'jin the Pilot Sky Golem here, or do you wait for something else? Because you've got the Cabal for the Deathlord if it does end up coming out.
It doesn't feel good, but I guess you do.
So what is he hoping for? Mini Mage?
Oh, that's one of the worst ones
for
Nyria. One of the best ones for Firebat.
Yeah. Nyria's face is just going absolutely... Oh, he feels crushed. I can tell in his eyes.
Yeah, I saw a ranking of the 4 drops, basically, that come out of the Sky
What am I talking about? This is an amazing card for Nyria. He just has to Cabal it.
Oh, you're right.
What are we talking about? Oh, no, he's hyper happy to do that.
What are we thinking?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were thinking.
You want the best card as possible for your opponent, right?
Yeah, definitely. Wow. Oh, goodness. This is good for him.
Yeah, but even if you cabal it, basically the Guardian of Kings plus the Ashbringer can just strike those 2 cards down.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But it's just a matter of having having the opportunity to do it. But now, I mean, Neria's hand, if he doesn't, he'll have to get a good combo off the Shrinkmeister to get value out of anything.
You know what, Noxious? I actually think this game is over because unless Neria gets an equality from
Thoughtsteal, there's no way he can just keep going.
There's no more board clears, essentially.
Yeah,
like
he's already used up his Akanai and...
Yeah, both Akanais are gone, 1 circle is gone, so that's all the board clears in Priest deck. Holy Nova is not going to do anything against this board.
Wow.
So Neria's 1 out is Thoughtsteal.
And that doesn't begin to help. I mean, you have to Shrinkmeister that Yeti and take it, I guess. You have to at least try to have a counter board presence so you can get a Wild Power with Shadow Madness play on the following turn. If he Thoughtsteals equality, that's going to be absolutely crazy, though. Oh. What is he keeping the Shrinkmeister for?
I'm not sure. He must be thinking that there is another card in Firebat's deck that has more value for Shrinkmeister, I guess.
I can't quite figure out what that would be, but... Karen Bloodhoof, I'm guessing. That's it? That's the only card.
Karen Bloodhoof would be a good choice. Maybe a Sludge Belcher if Firebat runs that.
But, I mean, right now, he's gonna have to Vaal Shadow Priest the Deathlord. Oh, goodness. This board from the Paladin is just absolutely crushing.
I think you trade here.
Yeah, just because. If he gets equality, at least you're safe.
Alright, is there going to be a Thoughtsteal into equality? No, Holy Nova.
Wild Pyromancer Holy Nova is going to deal 3 damage only to his opponent, which is not enough. So maybe getting the Cabal Shadow Priest, but that's not going to help because the Iron Beak Owl will silence it off. I believe the game is going to go to Firebat.
Yeah, there's no way for him to clear up enough of the board, I believe.
Yeah, I can't think of any way for him to do so. I mean, he can heal up a little bit, but not enough that it's going to be meaningful. Yeah, the Consecration's still threatening lethal despite complete board wipe.
Neria's still deep in thought.
Yeah, he's trying to calculate if he can make anything, if he can make any magic happen with priest combos, but I don't see that as being very likely right now. I mean, you could, no, you couldn't. I was gonna say Cabal Shadow Priest, the Deathlord, and Shadow Madness, a 3/3 into a 5/4, or into the 5/5, and then hope for a good Wild Power Nova on the following turn. But that's fairly mediocre.
Yeah, Neria just taking all his time that he needs to try to figure it out.
What about Shadow Madness? No, there's no winning this. There's no stabilizing this, basically.
You can Shadow Madness to try to clear off an Aldor, but yeah, it's not that good.
Alright, well that will be game. The Iron Beak Owl or the Black Knight will take care of that, the Deathlord. Firebat showing the top deck. Not that at this point, after you've dug your entire deck through, though. Oh, there is a Sludge Belcher in that deck, though. Alright.
Well played.
Yeah, not a matchup, I thought. I go that way.
I think a lot of it came down to, again, not drawing the Thoughtsteals, and Firebat getting that lay on hands, and just his kind of weird deck that he has.
He's got a really, really unique deck, and you know what really worries me for Neria is that his next deck is the Warrior deck. His Druid was banned, and I don't know what kind of a Warrior it is, but if it's his